I don't know when it stopped recording, but it stopped recording at some point.
That's too bad.
That is too bad. This was getting good. Alright, so, you love Square Enix.
I loved Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
I was too young to really understand the gravity of some of the situations, but
What's the significance of it? What does the story really tell us? Like, tell me this basic storyline of Final Fantasy VII.
so the basic storyline is that you play a character the main character Cloud um, has some kind of he has like some slight mental issues, and he ends up joining up with this
Underground.
with this underground group called Avalanche, which is against there's a energy corporation that's also like tied in heavily with the government, Shinra, and they're basically doing some really unethical things, and they're Shinra is essentially like in this universe the planet has this like tangible like kind of energy called the life force that runs through the planet, and they built machines in the main city to draw up this life force and convert it to energy for the city, and for other places as well, and it's called Mako.
Okay.
Now, the thing is this it depletes from the planet, and it also there's a major there's also a major sense in income equality. So you have what ended up happening.
Yeah,
is
there's a city on top of another city. The bottom city doesn't get any sunlight, and
exactly.
it lives
so
that
you have
way.
like the bottom city, which is like a huge fucking slum.
Yeah.
And Avalanche
and the majority of people live in the bottom city.
Right, so Avalanche is this group that formed from the underground city that enlisted Cloud, and they're basically sabotaging these reactors in a form of protest.
Yeah.
And then it eventually turns into this, they discover that Shinra's done more than just build reactors to absorb the life energy from the planet. They're also attempting to resurrect this calamity from the sky called Genova, which was a creature that came from space years ago with immense power, with an attempt to basically like harness her power and see what they can do with it. Yeah. And that was a form of they used her to both breed different forms of people and also form energy. So Avalanche stood against this whole fucking thing, and you eventually get run out of the city, and you try in.
Who's in your party at this point? As you run out of the city on this underground train, as I recall.
There's Cloud, Barrett,
the
black guy.
Yeah.
There's Tifa. Who is like one of the original Avalanche members. There's Iris, who you meet randomly.
Spoiler: she dies.
Right.
Regardless of any of your choices whatsoever.
Yes. There's Iris.
You might play through the game 3 times to see if you can't save her.
Yeah.
You will. If you don't know, you can't.
You can't save her.
You can't.
There's Iris, and then there's Red 13, which is an experiment. Kind of a cat.
Okay.
Hyena.
Okay. Go on from there. And you escape. It is on a train, right?
Mm-mm.
No?
It's as you're escaping, you've infiltrated the headquarters. Find that the president has been killed, and that his son, who is a far more volatile person, Rufus, has basically ascended the throne. It's very Japanese. The father dies. There's no board to put someone else in front of it. It's the son.
Mm-hmm.
And Rufus was more in tune with his father's like dark side of everything. He was just way into this, and you fight Rufus, and you realize the whole fucking plan goes to shit, and you get out of the fucking building, and like some of the people steal a truck. Cloud finds a motorcycle, and you basically like escape the city being chased, and it's like a little mini game too. Like, so you escape the city getting chased. You have to defend the truck while you're on the motorcycle, and it's just like you and your sword.
Oh, but nobody likes an escort mission.
It's actually really fucking fun.
I think that's.
But you get the fuck out of Midgar, and then that's when you end up on the world map at first.
Okay, so I haven't made it that far. Tell me more.
So you end up on the world map, and then it's just like, well, where the fuck do we go next?
Mm-hmm.
So you fucking float around for a little, or there's a city nearby, and then that's kind of like when you realize what you have to do next, because you see that Shinra has adversely affected other places outside of like the basically what amounts to the capital of the world.
And what we're basically talking about is the way that fracking is causing earthquakes, disrupting water supplies, and the way that coal is disrupting weather by causing global warming in the release of carbon to the atmosphere. But it's all sort of metaphorical. It is expressed as Shinra, the evil corporation that is exploiting. What's the
life energy?
Yeah.
To make Mako.
Mako.
Which is the energy that can be used by modern technology. Yeah.
Easily harnessed. Okay. What's the moral of this story? How does it resolve, and what do you derive from it?
So, essentially, as you stand against this fucking entity, there's another figure.
Sin.
Huh?
Sin. And that's
Sin. 8. There's another figure that becomes more prominent, that was a big fighter for
Sephiroth?
Yes. Sephiroth is one that fought with an unwavering passion for the Shinra industry, because his mother, which was the alien, like his mother, Genova, was a big proponent in their whole design. And he's got fucking mommy issues, hardcore.
He's a sympathetic character, oddly. He's the one that kills Eris.
Yeah.
But he's a sympathetic character.
And what he wants, like...
He is evil, and he is the bad guy through and through.
He's mostly evil, but what you end up seeing is that, like, Sephiroth has these issues, like, supporting his mother, who's basically just like a corpse that's being harmed, or, you know, they're just
like a mother plant that's being cloned off of to build a grapevine.
And he sees what's happening, and then he just turns his back on the whole world. He's like the Joker, essentially, and he just wants to watch everything burn. He just decides, fuck it to everybody. He's like, this planet doesn't deserve anything. Like, my mother is the most important thing ever, and Sephiroth essentially sets out just to destroy everybody.
He's a true nihilist.
Huh?
A true nihilist.
Yes, he's a true nihilist.
Nothing matters.
A total narcissist.
And the only thing that matters subjectively to me is suffering indefinitely. Indefinite pain and nausea. So, and everything else is dependent upon that suffering, so everything else must end. I'm tearing the whole thing down and burning it to the ground. There will be nothingness in place of pain.
So Sephiroth sets off on this mission to essentially just systematically destroy the world. And Cloud, who, spoiler alert, ends up not being who he thinks he is. Cloud thought that Cloud thinks that he is somebody that knew Tifa from like early childhood, that they grew up in like the same town together, so on and so forth. Tifa kind of believes the same thing too because
He's so
she
convincing.
had the same exposure.
Uh-huh.
What ended up happening is Cloud was created as one of these monsters. He was one of the soldiers that worked under Sephiroth, a guy named Zack, was subjected to this experimental treatment, and they ended up trying to build soldiers off of Zack, and Cloud is one of the people that was created. So Cloud has a bunch of Zack's memories.
So he's kind of a
is Zack. Zack ends up dying before the whole game starts. But Cloud thinks that he's Zack. Tifa also being in the reactor at the same point when there's this big blowout between Cloud and Sephiroth. Tifa's exposed to it, and she gets her ass whooped, and she's just believes that Cloud is Zack. So, she immediately accepted him, and, when he surfaced again and joined Avalanche to help them with their whole fucking cause, to help out the lower city of Midgar and also help out the planet because of all the reactors that are sucking the life stream out of the planet to make this, energy source that can power things. Like, she just thought Cloud was Zack, the guy she actually grew up with. And then there's this kind of love triangle because you find Iris along the way in this abandoned church.
And she's playful and fun and kind and pure and innocent.
Mm-hmm.
And valuable. She's useful in a fight. Is she a healer?
Yeah, mostly.
What's her attack though? When you really piss her off, what's her limit break?
Her limit breaks are healing. Techniques, like they're healing or they're like shield mechanisms.
Okay.
How
does she die?
She dies when you go to when you end up at this fountain. It's one point during the game you end up at this fountain where you go to collect something of importance. I can't remember. And Sephiroth has been trailing you for a minute. And Eris, who holds the white materia, the only one of its kind, he sees her. She goes into the middle of this, into this like altar in the center of this like big aquatic scene. And he's watching her, and he jumps down, and he fucking stabs her right through the chest. Her materia falls out, and she just slides down his blade. And Cloud is just, kind of back, watching her do this, like, prayer, whatever the fuck it is she's going to do, and he's just like, he's rattled, he's fucking lost, and he sees her fucking die, and he's like, he's like, and Sephiroth's just like, where's your fucking god now? Or some shit like that, and Cloud just goes up, and he picks Iris up, and he's like, she doesn't respond, and he's like, yeah, she's dead, and he walks her, down into the water and just lays her body down. Just lets her drift away. It's actually, for it being like old school CGI, like it's really fucking. It was really
I'm moved to
emotional.
tears. I'm actually moved to tears hearing it. I played through to that point. I did. It was a long time ago. I don't remember it, but I do. And yeah, it's one of the best bits of storytelling in human history.
Yeah, like he falls for her in a short amount of time, and then
Just
and Sephiroth sees that Cloud is the most apt person to fucking take him down, and he's gonna do his he. This is the point where he sees that this is how he can hurt him the most. It's by taking away the thing that he finds most dear, and that's Iris. It's someone that he has just fallen in love with recently.
but it's not his lust, it's her innocence.
It's not. Yeah, it's really not lust. Yeah, you're right. It is mostly her innocence.
But he
It's
is
her.
in love with her
It's her
innocence.
character. He's just infatuated with her. He loves her.
Who's the other? You say it's a triangle.
There's Tifa,
Tifa.
which is the one that
She's kind of the sporty brat.
yeah. Well, yeah. She's the one that, like, you know, both her and Cloud are convinced that they grew up together, but it wasn't really the case. It was this
Brainwashing.
It was this brainwashing. They didn't really know each other before. Tifa knew Zack. Tifa liked Zack, but Zack left to join the military with Midgar.
Okay.
And she didn't see him.
I gotta pee. Who's Sid?
Sid is a recurring character throughout the universe that is a playable character in Final Fantasy VII. He is the pilot of the airship that you end up using. He is the last character that joins your team. Depending on what there's two quote unquote secret characters that you can find,
Oh yeah.
but technically Sid is the last that joins your team, and you end up networking with him in this town because you need an airship. And Sid's kind of like a hillbilly, and he's pissed. Like, he's pissed at everything, and he's like, yeah, I'll fucking help you. And he's like, plus, he's like, all I really want to do is fly my airship anyway.
Yeah.
And Sid's character is he's more of a physical kind of character, and he uses a spear as his method for attack.
There's a dragon. Rama. No.
Rama, Bahamut.
Bahamut.
That he reoccurs throughout the whole Final Fantasy universe.
What's Bahamut's role? And the other dragons. There is a number of them, right?
Bahamut is the main
God.
Yeah, I forget. Bahamut is. I forget the significance of Bahamut. It relates back to some kind of Japanese mythology. I don't quite recall where Bahamut comes from.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
But Bahamut is a summon. Is a summon spell. And
very
there's
high level,
actually
like level 80 or something, right?
no, it's not. It just depends on when you find Bahamut. In Final Fantasy VII, there's 3 iterations. There's Bahamut Neo, and then there's Bahamut Zero. That all have. Each one is progressively more powerful.
Is there a point, like in Castlevania Symphony of the Night, there's a particular point in the level where if you pick the bat as your familiar and you stand at a particular point where there are regenerating zombies, the bat will just infinitely kill zombies, and you can just grind for infinite gold by just standing there.
Yeah, at the very beginning, yeah.
So you set it, you walk away, you come back, you got a superpowered character.
Yep.
Is there a point in Final Fantasy VII where you can grind by putting a rock on the D button and the down button? No. Maybe? Not that you're aware of. You've never exploited such a...
No.
Okay. In the latest release of the Lego Dimensions, it's the Namco or the Capcom or the something. It's a video arcade game, and they had Cyber Ball, which I used to play on my Genesis. Yeah, Cyberball. So my brother Steven and I got to play Cyberball for the first time in like 20 years as we were playing through Lego Dimensions, because that's the thing my family does. We have all the Lego Dimensions over at my dad's house in Goshen, and we've been playing through everything. It's awesome. It's pretty much the only video game I do anymore.
Lego Dimensions.
It's so fun. You can be a Ghostbuster. You can be fucking Scooby-Doo. You can be Homer Simpson. You can be Shell from Portal. You can be fucking anybody. You can be Marty McFly or Wonder Woman or Harley Quinn. And all of them, just a complete set. And the game is so worth it. Although I guess that I did the math. It takes a lot of money to have that complete set. But since everyone in the family's into it, and they stagger the releases. I fucking love Lego. But that gets back into our earlier discussion about marrying intellectual properties, right? Because the Lego Dimension is pretty much that taken to an extreme. It took a lot for Lego to even agree. Like, my brother Steven has all of the original series, the first season of Star Wars Legos. Because he and I had been collecting Legos together all through middle school, high school, but he was the primary one. And it was 99 when Lego and Star Wars finally, officially formed an agreement. Everyone had been making unofficial...
it was 99? I'm looking for my cigarettes. I'm listening. So, 99 was when the first official Legos happened?
The Star Wars Legos.
Oh, Star Wars.
Yeah.
What did I say?
I don't know.
Did I say Final Fantasy?
I don't know.
Final Fantasy Legos should be awesome!
Yes! Holy shit, why don't Square Enix work with Lego? It's a no-brainer! As it stands, Lego has Disney and DC